we've gone ahead and we've uploaded all the information from the computer to the actual bike itself. This is a very important part. When you're done with the actual uploading of the uploading process, it's going to ask you to go ahead and shut the vehicle off, disconnect the interface, and then wait 10 seconds. Shut the vehicle off, disconnect our interface, hit OK, let the bike fully power down, and then you can go ahead and reconnect your interface and start the vehicle. Now what's going on here is basically, this is actually the recorded data that you're doing. Down through here is actually, you'll have acceleration, AFR desire, battery voltage, basically all your sensor inputs and outputs. Most of this stuff is in voltage, so it's really hard to kind of understand what's going on there unless you understand exactly how the sensors work. However, this is the part where you're going to go ahead and actually do a recorded session. You want to do light load, and you basically want to start with the bike just idling, and then just casually driving the bike, and just record the session, and then just let Smart Tune do its job. And we're going to hit save, accept, and now we're ready to go over to the tuning page. I go into the Smart Tune side first and hit add new, and I'm going to go in and I have this Paul test. That's the one I just recorded. So I'm going to click on that, hit open, and what it's going to do is the Smart Tune now has that data that we just recorded. So we're going to go ahead and ask it to generate a map. So the generation is complete, and I'm going to hit OK. When the bike is just originally, when it's cold and it's firing up, it's going to go through a warm-up sequence. So you want to get the bike up to full operating temperature to start recording your session. So now that we've actually generated the maps, you can actually go in and hit update. And what that would do is actually go in and actually update for the front cylinder. And you hit update, and it updates for the rear cylinder. From this point, you actually need to go ahead and save this file. And then we're going to go ahead and flash it to the ECU. It takes a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and come back at you. Now that we've got the bike warmed up, we're going to go ahead and do another recording section. We're live. We're going to take this data, we're going to get it over to the ECM, and then we're going to go ahead and do ignition. Okay, so according to my chart, we're going through and we're actually recording sessions, going through the Smart Tune process, and then reflashing to the ECU. And we're repeating this process until the bike actually starts to run really good for us. We're at this point now to where the bike is actually running really good. So we're ready to go ahead and adjust our ignition curves. We have two tables, Spark Advance front cylinder, Spark Advance rear cylinder. We want to go ahead and use the working file for the rear cylinder as well. So we want to look at where it's sea level in Phoenix, so we want to do 80 kPa or higher. So basically these three columns right here I would highlight, and then I can go up in here and I can either increase or decrease by 1 degree. So it's very simple to do. You just go ahead and you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I just decreased the timing by 3 degrees. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is take this information, save this file, then flash that file to the Harley here, and then go ahead and make a dyno run and see what the results show if I'm making more horsepower or less horsepower. Okay, we went ahead and we advanced the timing, we retarded the time, and we found that this Harley actually liked about 3 degrees less ignition advance than the original map that was sent. So we're good on the ignition advance. Now we're ready to tune the ultimate AFR that the customer will have in the end for maximum performance. I go ahead and I open up my VE table, and I go to my working for my front, and then I go to my working for the rear. So we want to go ahead and do 80% throttle position and higher. So we highlight these two columns, and now I can increase or decrease. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is basically doing 0.5% at a time. So let me go. Let me give it more fuel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 3% more fuel at wide open throttle. We're going to go ahead and run this on the dyno and see what happens. Now we want to do the front cylinder and the rear cylinder, save the file, and then actually flash it to the bike, and then make our pass. All right, we found that it actually, when we went ahead and richened this bike up a little bit, it made a little bit more horsepower. We kept richening it up and then it started to lose horsepower. So we actually found the happy medium where this bike really wants to perform at. Now we're gonna go ahead and block tune our idle speed and our low speed circuits. When you're idling, you're looking at this area right here. So I'm going from 1 to 7% throttle position all the way up to about 1500 RPM. You can go in here and actually increase or decrease this whole area and then let the bike idle and see how it runs. Another area of interest is right here, this 17, 2000, 2250. I highlight this whole row right here, and what I do is I come in and I look at everything that's below 15% throttle. So I'll go in here and increase and decrease this area, put the bike under light load and actually drive it. While I'm driving it, I'm looking at my O2 sensor outputs under the recorded session just to make sure that we don't have a cylinder that is running too rich or too lean in these two areas. After this process right here where you block tune your idle speed and your low speed circuits, the process is done. The bike's ready to be delivered, and you basically just made a really happy customer. I thank you for your time. Have a great day. Thanks for coming to KMS Performance. Oh, and one other note. I just want to make sure that credit is due. I want to give a shout out to Paul Robinson for letting us use his bike. Really cool cat, and I want to also give a shout out to his nephew Jimmy and Carrie over at CFR for basically helping us to understand some of the problems that people were having with the Super Pro Tuner, and how we can basically help them to become better equipped to handle the Pro Tuner and deliver better products to their customers. I thank you for everyone else's time. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day.